Hey, what's up, everybody? This is from metalrules.com. My name is Maximus Rex, and I sing and play guitars in a band called CroMagnum. First question: what drives you as an artist to create music? I would say just overall frustration, irritation at general society. Uh, if I could find a positive way to channel those things through music or art or illustration or anything like that, I definitely think that's better than the alternative to that. Where does the band's name come from? That actually started with our original drummer, Bobby G. He kind of came up with that. And basically, we're trying to find a name that kind of is wide and evokes a lot, so we can kind of work in a lot of different kind of things without people, worrying about things being too specific. Cro-Magnum is basically the combination, obviously, of crow and magnum. Basically, crow means ultimately the beginning, and magnum ultimately means the end. So that's, obviously a lot to work with. Tell us about your upcoming album. Yeah, some heavy, brutal, heavy metal. How you like it? Some twists and turns. We try to hopefully keep it as original as possible, and in that Cro-Magnum vein. This one's a bit of a step up as far as production and orchestration stuff. We've added just some textures in the background, and this is the first album with two guitars, so some harmonies and obviously dual parts and stuff like that. What inspired the lyrics on this release? Again, kind of what I talked about earlier, frustrations with how things are in the world and hopefully finding ways of making those things better. A lot of the overall arcing idea is pretty obvious. I don't think I'm trying to be subtle or anything. The EP is called Born Free, and that's basically mostly what it's about. It covers ground, that I've treaded on before, that I've always been on. And these are ideas that, it's not the first time I kind of, push this kind of stuff. It's something it's part of me. It's, part of my convictions. And through whatever art I produce, I'm going to talk about these themes of liberty and freedom, especially in these times where government seems to be encroaching more and more on those things. What is the story behind the album cover artwork? Well, once you guys, get a glimpse of the Born Free video, that should, make it all kind of make sense. Basically, the image is inspired from that. It actually started off as a storyboard for that video, and then, trying to rack my brain for an image for the album art cover. I looked at that and I thought, if I just kind of start off from this basic sketch and improve it and, do a final copy, this could be pretty awesome. So that's basically why we went with that image. It's basically, the struggle. That's kind of, if I had to give it a title, I would call it that, to once again, push for your rights, fight for your rights. It's not something that's given, it's something that you kind of have to push back on. That's kind of the idea. Are there any new albums that have caught your ears? Metal-wise, not really. To be honest, I find a lot of metal these days sounds a lot alike, or is kind of like some sort of tribute act, I would call it, or playing in the style of some band from before. That's all great. I have nothing against that. That's just not what I'm particularly interested in. Now, whether or not we achieve this, holy originality that all bands obviously would like to have, I don't know. I'm sure people could point out to a lot of our influences and inspiration, I guess. But, we try to mix and match all the kind of things that we like into our music to hopefully create something new and different, Tell us a bit about your local music scene. Well, right now, obviously in the pandemic and because of COVID, that's kind of an issue. We haven't played a gig in a whole long while. It gave us time to work on this album, obviously, spend more time on that. But live shows, for now, just kind of seem like a thing of the past here in Montreal. Things are starting up again. Then there's questions about, being vaccinated or not, having your passport, all this. A lot of it's kind of still murky. But, before COVID, we had a very vibrant scene here. Metal's always been big in Montreal. And, we have those kind of, I guess, landmark places, that unfortunately some of them disappeared during COVID. But, Piranha Bar is still around, which is kind of our, Montreal CBGBs for metal, if you want to kind of create that analogy, which I just did. That's kind of the vibe there, you know. So hopefully, from what I've heard, that's supposed to be opening up again. Again, the conditions as to how and what your health state has to be to go there, that's still up in the air right now. What are the future plans for band? Well, right now, we're not a full band. We're missing a couple of members. So we were once a three-piece. We're considering maybe going back to that. For anyone who's been in a band, you know, it's already hard to manage a few personalities when you start having like 4, 5, 6, 7 different guys in a band. It just gets that much harder. So, you know, we're thinking of streamlining it, just going back to basics, just like when CroMagnum started. One guitar, one bass, one drum, for practicality's sake, ultimately. Because when you're playing at this level locally, you know, to have to carry all that around and again, practice all that, it's a lot of logistics at this point. You know, some people have kids. All that kind of comes into play. So there's a lot to think about. To play live shows soon, then, you know, maybe ask some friends and things to fill in for a bit. And after that, we'll see. But we would like to get back to doing some more recording as well. Probably somewhere in the mid-fall is the idea for the next kind of few batch of songs. Or not a few batches, but the few next songs that we will release as one batch. You know, 3 to 5 songs, depending. We'll see how we feel. Why does metal rule? And if you think it doesn't, then why are you playing in a metal band? Okay. I do think metal rules. Just like anything, there's high periods and low periods. Right now, I feel we're kind of like in a low period of metal, but what are you going to do? I still play in a metal band because I believe in that kind of style of music and the feelings that it evokes in people and yourself when you play that kind of music. And again, it's just a great way to get aggression, irritation, all the negative energy out of your body in a very generally positive way, I would say. And that's why metal rules. And that seems to be it for the interview. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Thank you, Metal Rules. And yeah, rock on.